we're talking about consistency, and back to talking about when you fight for things, we're talking about Tim Scott. We're talking about him getting called an Oreo. We're talking about the now hashtag Uncle Tim, which is now trending. And I'm looking at all this, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is the woke left that's giving him all these monikers, and you're supposed to be the ones that's supposed to be more accepting.
And you're supposed to protect him.
You're supposed that is a pillar of being liberal, right?
Yes.
Is that you don't go after people because they think differently than you.
Yes.
That's what it means to be liberal, have a liberal idea of the world.
Yeah.
You actually protect those that may think in a way that's antithetical to the way you view the world. And these are the people that are lighting him on fire. And what cracks me up even more, Rendon, it's white people. What? How are you telling a black man who grew up in the South, who is the senator from South Carolina, how he is supposed to think as a black man?
Whew.
And just because maybe you don't see it that way or you don't agree, you actually don't have the right to do that. And if you think you do, I guess that's a real slave owner mentality now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell that black man how he's supposed to think.
And let me tell you,
it's insulting.
Let me tell you what's just as bad as the slave owner mentality. The slave mentality of people don't stand up and say that that's wrong.
The black community should be defending him.
You've been in this situation, and I've been in this situation where people assume they know what I think about things, or assume that they have the authority to tell me what I should think about something.
As if I can't think for myself and my set of experiences and what I've seen in my own world. Really? Okay.
Really?
Cool story. Trust me, I make a check mark of that all the time. All the time. Yeah. We have a family friend that was after church, and she was concerned that I was a Republican. She was concerned. She was concerned, and Wesley, how could you?
Because she's shocked now, and she hadn't been concerned your whole life.
And I've noticed women my entire life.
But all of a sudden, it's a concern because you're willing to speak on behalf of what you believe. So it's a concern now. You like me if I believe the same thing that you believe.
Okay.
But if I have an independent thought, then
you're concerned.
That's concerning.
You're concerned.
That's concerning.
So you're concerned about the West Point guy that can fly a helicopter that has 3 master's degrees, and I can't think for myself. You're concerned now. You're concerned that how could you possibly be a part of a racist party? What?
It's like, how could you possibly be part of a racist society?
What kind of question is that? This goes back to one of the talks that we had earlier, and it's like, instead of being concerned, be inquisitive.
Hey,
Wesley, let's grab coffee. I want to talk politics with you. How'd you get here? Why aren't you a Democrat? Why do you believe this? Help me. I would be more than happy to elucidate them.
And I'm sure these individuals would learn quite a bit from that conversation.
Yes. Would I turn them into Republicans? No. But would they have a healthy understanding of why I am who I am, why we are who we are, why I'm sitting here, after just probably a few examples of what I'm talking about, and having the opportunity to explain? You may not agree, but you won't be concerned anymore. But wait a minute, Rendon. You only want to be concerned because you want to pat me on my head. You want to pat me on my head, and you want to say, oh, he's poor little black kid. He's lost.
Yeah. He can't think for himself. He doesn't understand he's being used.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so I'm not smart enough to realize the situation I'm in.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
That's interesting. I can't think for myself.
You keep digging. You just keep digging this hole. You know what's really interesting too, Ren? It actually comes from a relatively benevolent place.
Absolutely.
They're not doing this on purpose.
Wesley,
they're being racist and demeaning, and they're not doing it. They don't even realize they're doing it.
And that's part of the reason why it's important for them to have the conversation and get to know you and have this conversation. Because as you know, I'm very happy to have these conversations.
Open. That's why we have a podcast.
Yes, because do you know what I've realized over time as I've come into my own as a person? doesn't make me uncomfortable.
No, it doesn't.
I've been black my whole life. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make me uncomfortable to talk about race. I've had to stare race in the face my entire life.
Yes.
So this whole idea that, oh, I feel sorry for you and I'll feel sorry for you from a distance, and you can't really think for yourself. You're being, and at the same time, once again, it's this idea of the same people who are allowing the Uncle Tim thing to stand up, because it goes back to the Ibram Kendi point that we've talked about before. Anti-racist, racist. Mm-hmm. If you don't stand up and fight and say something as people are tearing this man down for what he said, you might be part of the problem.
Might be. You're the problem.
You snicker under your breath. Oh, he's a Republican, so just let them lay into him.
You're the problem. You see, black Democrats and black liberals should be the ones, the first ones to the trough, saying, I don't agree with that statement, but if this is about race and you want to race bait him and race bait this entire situation, hold on, you don't get to do that. I may not agree with him, but I'm defending his opinion as a black man.
Wesley, how many times have you seen me defend Barack Obama on things that are race related?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. There's certain things that you just don't get to say to this guy. Sorry.
That's what I choose to fight on.
Sorry.
And part of the reason I choose to fight on it is because I understand a little bit about the doors that he's walked through.
Yeah.
I've been in some of those situations before.
Politically, you're right. I don't align, really.
No.
But on these specific points, I actually get it.
Yeah. Because you've been there. Because you have perspective.
Yeah.
And I would argue that that's even perspective when you think about having people of different. Why is it important for the Republican Party to have black people?
Rendon, we have a two-party system. We have Democrats and we have Republicans. Okay, so let me get this straight. Every single black person should be a Democrat, meaning that not a single black voice should be on the other side of the aisle in a two-party system. So what you're asking for, what you're saying is this.
You better hope that if that one party wins and you have zero representation in it, that they'll look out for you.
Whoa.
You better hope you have some advocate in there.
Whoa.
You better hope you have somebody who's willing to
What you're saying is we are monolithic. That's what you're saying. We are all robots. We as black people are all supposed to think the same way. Really. And you don't want any leadership whatsoever for people of color that are Republicans. That's what you're saying. How progressive of you.
No, what's the token phrase? Representation matters.
Oh.
Unless it's a Republican black person in the party, and then representation doesn't matter anymore because that person's an Uncle Tom and an Oreo and a sellout.
Uncle Tim, sorry. Uncle Tim.
Yeah, Uncle Tim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not okay.
Unacceptable.
Not okay. And the thing that's beautiful about us having this conversation, me knowing you very well and you knowing me very well, if the same thing were said about a black Democrat, what would I be saying right now?
We'd be saying the same thing.
I'd be incensed in the same way.
Yes. But we are consistent, though.
Yeah.
I recognize that. This is not a policy or a political conversation. Okay, this is a moral one, really.
Yeah.